All right, we got 10 tips for all machinists. Now this can apply to pretty much any career. These are reminders that we all need to hear from time to time. Hell, I'll probably watch this video once a year just so I can keep it in the back of my mind. Now, I did make a sexy slow motion coffee introduction video for this, or introduction for this video, but it took way too long, wasting your time. So cut it, and we're gonna start with number 1, which is the bubble dilemma. Hey yo, Chucka.
Yeah?
Hey man, can you use stop using that drill and use this drill instead?
But that's the way we've always done it.
I mean, just get on Google to get the feeds and speeds.
What's that?
Man, this could save at least 3 days of drilling. I mean, we got over 1,000 parts we need to drill, and that's just go ahead and here, man. Use this drill.
Oh, but we've always okay. No.
Use the drill.
I'm not gonna do it that way.
Now, as you can see, pretty much every machinist, and this can apply to way more than machining, but every machinist that I've ever met, including myself, gets stuck doing the same thing every day, either with the same tool or with the same job. You end up not questioning yourself. Why are you doing it the way you're doing it? And people don't tend to reach out further than their knowledge base, meaning that they don't get on Google and try to figure out, is there a better way? Like that's always the question in the back of your mind. Is there a better way? Number 2, don't burn bridges. This world is smaller than you think. So I'm a manager. I hire, fire people. I do all of that. So I have come across other managers, and we all know each other, and I know the different business owners, and the machining world in the Southeast is pretty small. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of shops out there, but at the same time, you could, if you're gonna quit somewhere, or if you're getting fired, end it with respect for yourself. Don't put your energy of hating someone else out there, because as soon as you start, basically, if you show your ass and everybody sees it, no one is gonna wanna work with you. Let's say you're working with some guy named Craig. Craig is working in the mill department, and your manager is an a-hole, and he ends up firing you. And you show your ass in front of Craig, and Craig's like, well, damn, I didn't know he acted like that. Fast forward 5 years, Craig owns a business. You're looking for work, and you go into that business, and you start getting interviews, and then Craig's sitting there like, man, I know this guy, I don't remember where from, and then all of a sudden it clicks. He's not going to want to hire you. So if you leave somewhere, leave with respect for yourself and with others. It's not going to affect you a year from now. You're not going to be there. So why act like a little kid? So do not burn bridges, because in the end, you're working with people that you might see off and on for the rest of your life. Number 3. Sorry, I can't do that. Number 3. Look at your print. I know that's kind of obvious, but when you have a blueprint, there is something called the title block. So all that information at the bottom of your print is going to contain a lot of very important information. And a lot of machinists, and every machinist will get in this rut where you're just popping parts out left and right. You're used to the day-to-day operations of how your company is functioning, and you're knocking the parts out. You know, you're making parts out of aluminum, you're making them out of steel, and then all of a sudden somebody's going to throw in a print and have chrome built into it, and you're going to forget about the buildup of the chrome, and all of a sudden you have a dead part. So take your time. Every time, try to pretend like every time you get a print, you're a new machinist and you don't want to mess the part up because you're super scared the boss is going to fire you if you do. You don't have to be scared. But try to read the print like you have that mentality. People will just look at the shape of the part, look at the dimensions, look at the material type, and that's all they look at. And maybe the tolerancing. They forget about the coating. They forget about heat treat. They forget about all these different things that can affect the part. And this is why you need to take your time when you first get a part and observe the print and stop getting used to the day-to-day operations and understand that you might mess this part up if you don't take the time reading it, because you could put 10-15 hours in a part and you forgot to read one little note. So read the print thoroughly. Number 4, try to look at this trade as art, because machining is an art form. So you have painting, you have people that love to sketch, you have people that love to animate, you have sculptors, people that make tiny little models. Machining is the same thing. It's creativity, and it depends on what tools you're using. You know, are you going to saw it versus drilling it out? Like those are, to me, it's art. And how good can I make this part look? Can I put even chamfers all the corners? And how shiny can I make this part? If somebody picks this up, will they recognize that I did it? Or will they just think that some kid out of school did it? So there's a man called Chris Bathgate, and you can look him up on Instagram, and he actually treats machining as art. And he has his own art galleries, he has a chess set he's made, and he is fantastic. So if you're looking for some inspiration to treat this trade like art and to kind of push yourself to the next level and make each piece you make better than your last. All right, number 5, remember that you can learn from everyone. The grand lesson in number 5 is going to be set your ego aside, because trust me, once we realize how much we actually know about the machining world, you wouldn't have an ego, because the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know shit. So take your ego, set it aside. Stop arguing with people and listen. Most of the time, people have good things to say. We might not like them that day, and we don't want to hear it from them. But at the same time, they could be helping you become a better machinist and getting paid more if you would just shut up. And that's kind of a message to my past self, and my future self. So try not to just talk at people. The less you talk, the more you can listen. The more you can listen, the more you can learn. The more you learn, the more money you earn. So think about it. Number 6, get a life. Go out, do something. Don't just go to work, go home. Go to work, go home. Sometimes going out, even though you dread it, even if it's golfing, let's say you hate people and you want to go do something else, just go do something by yourself, go do something with your family. It will bring you energy. It might feel like, oh man, I don't want to go out of work all the time, but get out of the house. Don't just get in the robotic mode of going to work, going home, going to work, going home, because you're not going to have a happy life. And I can guarantee you, whoever your spouse is not going to be fulfilled. I mean, you can't just go to work and that's it. Because they might not divorce you, but they will not be happy. Because it's so easy to work these 12-hour days. It's not easy, but it's easy to get sucked into the day-to-day and look up, and 3 years have gone by, and you haven't even taken your wife or husband to a vacation because you're so busy wondering about the next emergency job, or you know the next job that's coming up and you're trying to finish it. Well, as much as you worry about the emergency job and about the project that needs to be finished, you also need to put that amount of worry into what you need to do next in your life in order to have a fulfilling life. Because for all you know, next year you're going to get smashed under the head of one of these spindles. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but at the same time, it just might. So as much worry as you put into machining, you need to put it on the other side of your life. And number 7, being a know-it-all. Now, it's in all of us. If you're in the machining trade, you will understand, if you work with other machinists, how many know-it-alls there are. And how you can kind of pick them out, including yourself, is if I'm having a conversation with you right now about, let's say, it's about this part, and I'm trying to criticize you, or I'm trying to like just tell you how to go about it, and you're already, while I'm speaking, now this could be in relationships too, like your spouse and stuff. If I'm speaking to you and I'm trying to get you to listen to me because I have some advice that I want to share, or I'm trying to tell you what I'm thinking, and you are already building up an argument in your head while I'm talking, then you need to stop and understand that you are not learning at that moment. You are being a child and your ego's getting hurt, and you're already arguing with the person before they can even finish the sentence. So while people are talking, and this is again all aspects of life, while people are talking, even if you know that every time something that comes out of their mouth is a bunch of bullshit, try to stop and listen. You will be so much better for it. Stop speaking so much, start listening, and you will grow, you will flourish in this trade and in life. Because if you ever notice, the only times that you ever sound like a dumbass is when your mouth is open. Wise words of Nicholas. As number 8, we have networking. All right, so the greatest thing you can do if you want to become a manager, if you want to become like a foreman, if you want to own your own shop, if you want to always have a job in the machining industry, networking. And that's a part of not burning bridges. They're kind of neck and neck. So know your tools reps. If your foreman offers you a chance to talk to these tool salesmen, by all means, become friends with these people. They're not out to hurt you. They're out to help you. I mean, yeah, they might be trying to sell stuff to you, but at the same time, most people want to help people. Maybe not all the time, but from my experience with the tool industry, all the salesmen are salesmen for a reason, because they're friendly with people. They like people. They wouldn't do it if they didn't like people. Some might, but again, a majority don't. And when you own a business, let's say I have the greatest network. I know all the different business owners. I know people that sell material. I know people that sell tooling, and they all give me great discounts. I know a bunch of different machinists. I could start a shop like that. I have the finances. That would be the hard part, to buy these machines. But after I buy the machines, if I have a customer base, then that's my network. I can immediately have work. I can hire people because I know them. I've got tool salesmen I can talk to and get good pricing and be like, hey man, can you just like help me out right now? And then, once I get built up, I can help you. It's all about networking. So don't burn bridges, network, and you will have a fantastic career. You can have your own shop just with a network of people. If you can bring people together, those are the people that get paid. Those are the people that have shops and make a lot of money. And if you hate people, you're going to have to do some work on yourself to figure out what you need to do to start liking them at least a little bit. Because in the machining world, as much as it is machining, it's also about people. At least until cyborgs take us out. That's kind of like half people. So, who really wins this conversation? Number 9. Learning path. Try to have a learning path. And this is, again, this applies to life. If you're going in every single day and you're not learning at least something, then you might need to talk to someone at your shop about how to go about learning. If they have a program, make an effort. Try to have a plan, because if you don't have a plan, I guarantee you time will snap its fingers and 3 years will go by and you don't know shit. So if you can't pick up a blueprint and make it better than you did last year, then my friend, you have to change the way you're thinking and the way you are running your life. So try to get into some programs. Get on the internet. Learn. Do what you're doing now. YouTube stuff. and making a conscious effort to keep learning. Because you either need to be getting paid a lot of money or you need to be learning, preferably both. Because in the end, if they fire you and you were making a lot of money and you didn't learn anything, you're going to have a very hard time finding another job, getting paid that much, if you don't know more than when you started that job. Number 10, notes. I highly recommend Google Drive. That's how I organize all of my notes, because there's been many times, this is the last thing, there's been many times where people come to me after, like, we buy a new machine. The person that does the training comes in. I'm the only one taking notes. And then later that day or later that week, somebody comes to me and they're like, hey man, were you taking notes? Because, like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. They think they can remember it, but then when the time comes, they can't. So don't depend on your brain unless you have perfect recall, and make sure that you take notes.